Hey everybody, it's me, Angel Benton, and it's time for another edition of my show, Angel Sudsy Recaps. Look out. Uh, in terms of the pimple, it's like almost 100% gone. You can barely see it right there. See, it's going away. It's being healed. Um, okay, so Dancing for Relevancy. I am so excited. I love this show, right? Even though I call it Dancing for Relevancy, it's all in love. It's kind of like I was talking to a friend at work today, and I was telling him, I was like, I love those roasts on Comedy Central, not just because the jokes are savage as fuck, and because random people you would never expect to be funny are hilarious. Case in point, Martha Stewart at the Justin Bieber roast, hilarious. Jewel at the Rob Lowe roast, hysterical. So, besides that, the roasties always have a good attitude about it, and if they can make fun of themselves, and then they can make fun of other people too. I mean, like it's a wonderful thing. I love those rows. I think they're great. So that's why I call Dancing with the Stars Dancing for Relevancy, and I am a mirror baller for sure. Okay, so let's talk about this episode. Okay, first of all, okay, so who were the four that I said that would make it to the end? We'll start with them. Erica Jane, incredible. Here's what I loved about Erica Jane. When Erica Jane danced with Gleb, anytime she did a Batman kick or a fan kick, you can't see it because I'm actually doing it, but you can't see it, but it was just gorgeous. Her lines were exquisite. And Carrie Ann Inaba basically kind of said the same thing in her judging. She did so good because, the first number last week, she was very Erica Jane. And this week, she was actually a little more Erica Girardi, But either way, but I think she can pull from whatever fucking personality she wants for the dance, because if the dance calls for it. And I think she did an amazing job. Incredible. Okay, moving on to Heather Morris, the other one, right? Heather Morris is kind of the opposite of Erica Jane, actually. Erica Jane was a little too Erica Jane, and she needs to focus a little bit more on the actual dance, whereas Heather Morris is all about the dance, and you don't know who is Heather Morris, right? So that's kind of the dichotomy between the two of them. But Max had an injury, so he was out. Right? So at the literally with one day to learn it, Alan Burston, who I love, my former man crush Monday, I love me some Alan Burston, he jumped in and did it and was fierce. And it kind of makes me a little bit disappointed that he's not a full-on pro, because I feel that he would probably bring the same level of creativity that Mark Ballas and Derek Huff have. Now, don't get me wrong. People like Val and Max and Sasha, I mean, like, they're all great dancers, right? But there's something about Derek and Mark, and Alan's got that too. At least he's in the troupe. At least we'll still get to see him every week. So, but he did great. But so yeah, he made the dance more than she did. I mean, she did great. She knew every step, but she wasn't giving enough personality. But again, Erica Jane is a reality star. Or Erica Girardi, who you know who she is. I mean, she's a soap star too. Young and the Restless, Farrah Dubose coming back, but she's also a reality star, and Heather Morris really isn't. She's an actress. But if you're an actress, you need to be then acting the part, right? Okay, moving on. Simone Biles. She kind of had a little bit of a misstep this week. She was okay. She wasn't bad. She wasn't amazing, incredible either. So, we'll see next week if she can, But I would still keep her at the top, I would definitely keep her at the top. Next is Rashad Jennings. Again, now last week he did really strong. He did really great. I was like, okay, you get it, right? But this week he was good again, good but not great. So those last two are kind of but they still did fine. They're still, all four of them, I think, are still going to make it to the end, right? Okay, so moving on to the others. Oh, Charo. It really pains my heart to say this because you don't understand how much I fucking love Charo. I fucking love Charles so much. I've seen her in concert, and she is probably one of the most underrated musicians you will ever hear. And I'm not, she might be the most underrated musician alive. And if you don't believe me, you need to go see her in concert. Bitch is crazy incredible on that guitar. No pick. I mean, she's incredible. Fierce. She's fierce, right? And last week, she was so awesome at the samba. She did such a good job, right? Well, this week, not that great. And there's a couple reasons for that. First reason is she really built up this dance in her pre-tape package before then. She was like, I know the flamenco. My mom bought me a dress so I could dance. I've been dancing flamenco since I was a little kid. So you expect her to be really good, right? She was literally like 2 beats ahead of Keo the entire dance. And, the steps she did were good. They just were not in time with the music. And and for someone who is such an incredible musician, the musicality was off. And here's another reason why I think it might be, well, and then she was at the bottom too. She didn't go home. Chris Kattan went home, but we'll get to him in a second. But one of the reasons why she might go home next week, besides the fact that she was in the bottom two, was also because, she has this shtick where she doesn't really let the judges speak. And it was cute those first 2 episodes. I think next episode that might get a little old. But we'll see. It might not. But, I can see how that might grate on some people's nerves. It didn't grate on my nerves. I think she's adorable. But, yeah. And her and Bruno getting into it with each other was hilarious. Okay, so Chris Kattan went home. He's the one that went home. And on the one hand, I give Chris Kattan credit because he had a really life-threatening neck injury, and because of that he can't do a lot of the physical comedy that he did before, where people say I miss the old Chris. And he got really teary when he was talking about it, and I get that. I totally understand that. But however, that is one of the dangers of, if you are just known for physical comedy and you get hurt and you can't do your physical comedy anymore, you've just ended your own career. Whereas if you do little physical comedy, you do highbrow, comedy, you do drama, then if you're a little more well-rounded, you have a better shot of having a long-lasting career. But anyways, but part of that also is I kind of blame his partner Whitney. But again, Whitney didn't really have the experience to deal with someone with an injury like that. Whereas Derek Huff takes someone with no feet to second place. Whitney kind of struggled a little bit because there's a lot that he couldn't do. And unfortunately, she had him do a lot of that stuff, and it didn't look good on stage. And so he ended up going home, which is unfortunate. But, I'm glad he got to do the show, and he is too. So good for him, So, Normani Corday. Okay, Normani is from Fifth Harmony, and she danced with Val. And it was real interesting to see how she basically was touring all around Asia. And she was in Japan, which I love me some Japan. Shout out to Japan. Big ups to Japan. Her and Val were literally hopping around Asia all week, rehearsing. And then they got off the plane earlier that day and then did the show. And she did pretty fucking good, too. I gotta give the bitch props. Oh my God, okay, so she did great. Oh, I got one more person to talk about. Nancy fucking Kerrigan. God damn it. Okay, so Nancy Kerrigan, so she was fine. She did good. She was great, right? Her pre-tape package. Now, granted, I know that she didn't edit the pre-tape package. However, I also know the producers can only show what you give them. Like, they can only, give us what you give them. So if you never do it, they can't show it. So she did it. She fucking cried. Why did she cry? Because Artem gave her a compliment. A fucking compliment. Can you believe that? Are you kidding me? I mean, seriously. Now, listen, I understand what it's like to not take a compliment. I get that. But instead of sitting there and crying about it, have it be like, okay, yes, thank you. Let's rehearse. Let's move on. You know what I'm saying? Like, just keep it moving. You know, she did great on the dance. I don't know. I've got this hair. I'm sorry. It's really annoying the hell out of me. She did great. I thought she did fine. Anyways, we'll see what happens next week. Oh, and oh my God, and the baseball guy. I don't remember. I'm sorry, I don't remember his name. I'm not a sports fan. The baseball guy did not. He had a bad night, so he did bust a move, right? And you know he this was a dance he did when he was in junior high school. Well, not a dance, but like he used to dance to this song when he was in junior high school. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. And here's why that was a bad choice. Because anyone who has any history with that show knows that Julianne won with that song with Apollo Ono. She came in first place. That was her freestyle on her first season. That was kind of epic. So to go from that to this, that was not good. It wasn't good. And last but not least, Kim. So Kim Herjavec, I can't believe I saved her for last. You know, Mr. T, he did okay. I just thought that his routine was a little short. I thought it was a little short. I thought he could have been a little longer. But he did fine. He was okay, but I think he'll be one of the next to go. You know, Kim's body looked fierce, though. You go, Robert Herjavec. You get some. And you go, Kim Johnson Herjavec. You get it. Anyways, thank you so much for logging on today. I love it. I love this show so much. I appreciate it very much. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Angel Benton. Hashtag Dancing for Relevancy. I'll know you're talking to me that way. Or you can also hashtag RHOBH to talk the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, which I'm doing next. Peace out, everyone. Have a great night, and wubba, wubba, wubba.